Okay, so I decided to do the Instagram website, the actual physical website, rather than the mobile application. I'm not really familiar with Instagram. I've never actually used it before. This is the first time I've ever even been on Instagram. So this account is brand new. Um, so far, what I've seen, I mean, just difference between the app and the website is that the website really limits what you're actually allowed to do as far as posting anything. It doesn't actually have anywhere that you can go to post any pictures. I mean, that's handled all completely by the mobile application. So the only thing that's really handled here on the website, other than just, you know, some very basic stuff, is, I mean, you can like different pictures and comment on them and view your feed a little bit. But they actually have a few things on here that that you can't actually get to on the mobile application that I thought were pretty cool. The first one here is this page they've got for badges, which is just their fancy way of saying embedding a link to Instagram on your website or your blog. So you click on any one of these buttons and it gives you a snippet of HTML here, and you throw this into a website or your blog that allows you to embed HTML in it. You just throw this in and it throws a button in there that'll link back to your Instagram. And I mean, you just choose between buttons by clicking them and it'll change the HTML accordingly. I've done this. Let's see where I threw this. Just for an example, this is a website I made back in high school, like 3 years ago. But I threw the buttons on the bottom. They just pop up just like that. And you click it, it goes right back to Instagram, which I thought was pretty neat. The other one they have, the other thing they have open on their website is they have their API actually open, which is really cool. I've never seen another social media outlet like Instagram do this. What an API is essentially, API stands for Application Program Interface, and essentially what that means is that it allows you to interface with the programming structure of Instagram itself. So if I was developing an application, say I wanted to make an application that allowed me to, look through Instagram accounts, just like look through different Instagram accounts based on different categories that are based off of the general theme of what they take pictures of. So, say if they were taking pictures of architecture, you could categorize it as that. You could make an application that would do that, and you could actually interface with the site, get updates from the site through their API. So you could actually build an application off of Instagram, and they don't have it just open to everybody. You actually have to register an application, and you have to be allowed to actually go in and use it. And they've got actually a few other things in this whole little area here for developers. They've got there's authentication, just things if people wanted to log into yours through into your application through Instagram, they could do that, and different things that are restricted through their API that you're not allowed to do. If you wanted your application to have actual real-time updates from Instagram every time somebody posted a picture, and say your application viewed Instagram in some way, it would also get that update on your application. And then they've also got different hooks for developing an Android or iPhone application based off of the Instagram API. And they've got actually kind of neat here. They've got a console for this as well, so you can go in and and view all the different functions within Instagram's API that you can implement in your program. So they've got a bunch of different things that you select one, and it allows you to actually, play around with it a little bit, which is pretty cool. And then they've got, what is this one? I'm not sure what this one is. Oh, they've also got different limits, things that you're limited for. They've got different options if you wanted it to be embeddable Okay, so we did get cut off there a little bit. I'm still using the same software that I was before, unfortunately. Only lets me do 5 minutes. So we're going to just go ahead and sum up the little bit that's left on the developer area. So they've got a link to their libraries, which are essentially, they're hosted up on GitHub, and they are the things you need to download to actually write software with them. They're all the functions, everything, all the classes, all of the stuff written in Python and Ruby for some reason, that you'd actually need to write a program with their API. So they've got links to them. They're up on GitHub. There's actually quite a bit in here. Alright, and they've got, next thing down is they've got a link to their developer blog. These are just for like support options. Say you're having some trouble with your application, things you needed to, you're having some issues that you needed resolving. You could go on their developer blog and see if somebody there could help you. They've also got a link to a debugging tool for your software, and a link to, they've got a community on Stack Overflow, which Stack Overflow is a website for developers to go and communicate with each other, try to resolve issues with software that they may or may not be able to figure out themselves. So they've got a whole community on here for people who are developing off of the Instagram API, and they've got big sections on here for actual web applications and iPhone applications and Android applications and things like that. Other than that, they've got a list of other platform developers that have already made something off of the API, and I mean, they've got a whole big list of them here. I'm not really familiar with any of them, but they've got a button on the side too, just so for contacting them. So say you wanted to, ask like how they managed something with their API, I guess, how they developed something. If you just wanted to, pick somebody's brain who's already worked with it, you can do that, which is pretty cool. Now, I mean, this is the reason why I decided to do the web version rather than the mobile version, is because they have this whole developer section that they don't have up on the you can't actually access on the mobile application. I thought this was really cool. They have all of this stuff that usually, I mean, Facebook doesn't have their API open to anybody. Twitter doesn't either. Not really any social media outlet, big social media outlet at least, has their API open to anybody for developing, which I thought this was just pretty cool, that you're actually allowed to do this and that Instagram allows this. So there you have it.